Personal finance is mathematically simple. Spend less than you earn. But in the real world, human behavior determines whether those numbers actually add up. Financial logic often fails when confronted with impulse, fear, and the money habits you learned growing up. You took the quiz because you've likely realized that simply tracking your money hasn't solved the underlying stress of managing it. You see the symptoms everywhere: creating a budget and stopping 2 weeks later, avoiding your debt balances, or watching every raise get swallowed by a more expensive lifestyle. This chart compares financial literacy with execution. People struggling with money stress are often trapped in this bottom right quadrant. They have knowledge but lack execution. Landing here means your stress results from habits rather than a lack of basic education. Knowing more about money changes nothing if your underlying behaviors are constantly fighting against your financial priorities. It is a common misconception that all financial professionals are there to give you stock tips, manage portfolios, or find tax loopholes. A money and finance coach acts as a behavioral specialist. They focus on habit building, impulse control, and establishing the structural accountability you need to follow a plan. They do not provide individualized investment, tax, or legal advice. Their work is centered on your actions, not your securities. The trade-off is specific. You are paying a professional to hold you accountable to managing your own money effectively. To decide if that investment is worth it, you first have to identify which specific behavioral persona is creating friction in your life. The first archetype is the debt avoider. These individuals make minimum payments and refuse to look at their account balances because they dread what they'll find. Debt acts as a constant reminder of past decisions, which generates a cycle of shame that makes it impossible to move forward. The coach intervenes by shifting that emotional burden into a series of objective decisions, mapping out what you owe, what you spend, and what happens this month. As the comparison table shows, the fix for avoidance is a forward-looking plan that replaces uncertainty with a clear path. While coaching won't make the balance vanish today, exchanging that emotional weight for a defined direction provides immediate relief from financial paralysis. The second archetype is the leaky bucket earner. This person may earn $250,000 or more, but they still feel broke and have no idea where their income goes. This is the result of lifestyle inflation, where every increase in pay is immediately consumed by nicer cars, larger homes, and rising convenience costs. Coaching for this group involves a rigorous audit of convenience spending and establishing the hard boundaries that a high income alone cannot provide. For the high earner, the intervention is a boundary and convenience audit to stop the leaks before they consume the next raise. Without changing the underlying habits, more income simply creates more expensive versions of the exact same financial problems. The final archetype is the clashing couple. These partners experience relationship strain because they process financial risk and priorities differently. Budgeting usually fails here because every conversation about money becomes an emotional battleground rather than a strategic discussion. A coach acts as a neutral third-party mediator to align these disparate values without taking sides or passing judgment. Our final row completes the matrix. Mediation is the tool that turns misaligned priorities into a unified plan. Because these three scenarios require such different approaches, a random search for financial help is often a waste of time. Noomii's SmartMatch process solves this by sifting through a network of 4,000 professional coaches to find the specific experts who fit your profile. Resolving your specific friction requires a professional whose experience matches your unique income, debt, and family dynamics. You are weighing a direct trade-off, spending upfront capital to gain the behavioral discipline that stops lifestyle inflation and debt avoidance. To find the right path, look at your primary money problem. If you are strictly looking for help with investment strategy and asset allocation, you should hire a certified financial planner. If you want someone to manage a stock portfolio or find a way to eliminate debt without changing your spending habits, a money and finance coach is the wrong choice. However, if you understand the basics but struggle with execution and control, your path leads to a money coach. A behavioral coach provides the structural accountability necessary to ensure you keep more of what you earn. Financial progress is built through intentional decisions repeated over time, not through a single lucky breakthrough. The goal is not perfection or never spending money on fun. It is securing absolute control over your financial direction. Control means knowing exactly where your money is going. When you know what you're saving and what you're paying down, An unexpected expense is just a line item, not a crisis. You took this quiz because you've already identified a need for change. Your next step is to review the 5 free, vetted coach recommendations Noomii has matched to your goals. Yesterday's decisions are already made. Today is the moment to establish the habits that your future security requires.